How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, your Ginger Geordie geek. Welcome back to the channel for another exciting review of a few comic books that are coming out in a few months' time. I'm joined as ever with my good pal, Ephraim. How are you, Ephraim? Are you well?
I'm doing really good, Peter. It's always a good day when we get to hang out for a couple of hours at least, or an hour or so, talking about comic books.
Absolutely. And this is one of my favorite shows. So this is where myself and you, how long have we been doing the show now? It's a good while, isn't it?
Over 2 years.
Yeah, a good while. Well, basically what we do, ladies and gents, if you've not seen the show before, is we take a look at comic books that are coming out in a couple of months' time. This month we're going to be looking at November's books. So we'll go through some books that have taken our fancy or jumped out at us in the solicitations. We'll also look a little bit at a couple of comic book reviews. So a few books that we've been reading recently. We'll pick a book that we definitely won't be reading for various reasons. And then we'll look at a book that's coming out this week and kind of try and direct people towards those. So lots of interesting comic related content coming your way if you're into that kind of stuff. Now, let's just have a quick look see and see who we've got in the chat. We have got good old Dr. Von Hoot. Nice to see you, Von Hoot. I hope you're well, bud. Please do, everybody, check out Von Hoot's live show on the Saturday evening. Always good fun, always a little bit mad. And he always starts it off with a little reading from a very important book. So please do check that out. It's always good fun. We've also got Terry the Dead Man. Nice to see you, Terry. Always, again, got some amazing content. Terry's saying new channel. He's not really new anymore. He's been around about a month or so now, I think, Terry. Some stunning content, particularly if you like looking at comic books. So please do check out Terry's content. We've got James, MJ Comics. Nice to see you, James. James is killing it at the moment with his interview series. So please check out his channel. He's got some amazing stuff. And another great YouTuber, we have got Wayne of the Deacon. I don't know if you've seen any of Wayne's videos, Ephraim. You seen Wayne?
I don't think
great content, particularly if you like pop collectibles and things like that. He does them with his son. So again, worth checking. And we have got the main man himself, the YouTube's finest supporter, shall we say. We've got Fuzzy of the Dunlop. Always good to see you, Fuzzy. And I hope you're well, bud. I hope you're well. And we have got Rogue One Photography. Nice to see you, bud. Nice to see you. Killing it with. So Rogue One, Phil does some amazing, particularly 1/6 scale action figure photos, Ephraim, and he's got some stunning ones on his Instagram page. Phil also has a show with 1/6 figure focus on a Monday night. Let one know, Phil, is that 9 o'clock start? Can't remember if it's 9 o'clock start or not. But it's well worth checking out. Again, always great fun. Always great fun. MJ, Wayne's got a channel I didn't realize. Yeah, it's good fun, but it's worth checking. And sadly, no live show this weekend. Seeing Japanese female-led punk band Melt Banana. What the hell is that? What the hell is Melt Banana? I never even heard of that one, bud. Not a clue what that is. But it sounds interesting. So, yep, good fun. Now, Ephraim, before we start, I just want to give a big thank you to you because you recently went to San Diego Comic Con and you picked this up for us and sent us this. This is absolutely phenomenal. This is Death's Head, Marvel Legends figure with all the interchangeable hands. I am over the moon with this one, bud. Thank you so much for picking that up for us. But also, Ephraim, you are naughty and you sent us a little edition. And I have to say, I hadn't seen this cover. And I know Fuzzy's in the chat. I know Fuzzy's a fan of this series, but this blew us away, Ephraim, because I've not seen this. So this is Frankenstein issue number 1. This is the Ash Khan edition. Look at that image. I'd not seen that one on any of the solicitations. So over the moon with that one, Ephraim. I'm going to get this one on graded. It's beautiful. Absolutely.
That was, as far as I know, it was an exclusive. He was selling it for the first time at San Diego Comic-Con, so I rushed over there on preview night. I got one too for myself because I just like the color. I mean, not the color, but I like the comic book. Black and white. Black and white in those days. Those were those comic books. Those movies came out. There's two people, Peter. I don't think if you've seen them, it's on the comments. I'll show them really quick. At the beginning, Rican Comics and
what Rod
and Andy Roberts.
Hi, Andy. That's interesting, Ephraim. So we are streaming on my channel and your channel.
Yes.
I can only see the comments resumed from my channel then. So I haven't got those comments on my little doohickey on the side here.
That's
Well,
weird because I have no comments on mine at all. So
oh, do you not?
no, not too many people leave comments on mine.
Christ only knows. And so we'll have to keep an eye out and just have a little
Yeah,
look because I didn't see those comments. That's interesting. Phil's just saying it's the Hope Show Monday night, 8 p.m. Phil, I'm no longer doing a live show on a Monday night, bud. I'm now moving to Tuesdays. So all of my shows will be on a Tuesday at 9 p.m. I'm kind of relaunching as Triple G Tuesdays. And so everything I do, apart from the one-off shows that I do, like my interview shows, will be on a Tuesday night at 9. Okay, let's crack on, Efren, because we've got tons to get through. And there's some interesting picks tonight. Hi, Rod. Nice to see you, bud. Hope you are well. Hope you are well, my friend. Okay, let's crack on. Just wanted to mention, particularly for the guys over in the UK, that if you're after a nice, handy, easy service to get your book sent, you can't go wrong with Slabbed Crusaders. So check out Slabbed Crusaders webpage. They're very, very reasonable priced, and you can get some great deals from them. Nice to see you, Perry. Thank you very much for joining. Okay, so we're talking November's books, and Efren, you're kicking off with a bit of Avengers action, I think.
I really dug this. I must admit, when we do, we look at books that are coming out advanced orders like 2 or 3 months down the line. And the first things I think we just naturally look at are the covers. I just like the way this cover looks like. It has some of the Avengers in the background. You see Storm, who has recently joined the Avengers, and Black Panther up front and center, right on the bottom of the A. This is Avengers number 20. This is cover C. It's a Sergio Davila variant. Writer's Jed McKay. Says Black Panther War Journal, Free the Prisoners. Black Panther stars in this issue as he journeys into the pocket dimension of Meridian Diadem while the Avengers deal with Doctor Doom on the outside. T'Challa must rescue the prisoners trapped within the living prison. I don't know if everybody knows, but Doctor Doom right now is the lead sorcerer, the main sorcerer, and he took the powers away from Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. So, recently he has those powers now. So who knows what's going to happen with him, his character development.
So that was on the back of the recent crossover event, wasn't it? Was it
Yes.
Blood Hunt? I think it was
Blood
called.
Hunt, yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that one. It's not often I enjoy some of the Marvel interconnecting kind of crossovers, but Blood Hunt was particularly cool. I quite enjoyed that one.
I like Blood Hunt. It was only like 5 issues long too. It didn't, sometimes they're 12 issues long over a year. I'm like, come on, guys, we don't need that, So yeah.
We've got Legion of Comics here. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for joining, my friend. Okay, my first pick. Yeah, Power Rangers. So I am not a big Power Rangers fan. As people who watch the show will know, I didn't get into it as a kid in terms of the cartoon. Sorry, it's not a cartoon, is it? In terms of the live action show. And I forced myself recently to read Power Rangers The Return, which was a little mini series, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really, really did like it. So I spotted this coming out. This is Power Rangers Prime, and I think what appealed to us is it feels and it reads very much like a Power Rangers kind of version of the Ultimate Universe from Marvel. So it's kind of a good starting point for people. It basically says Power Rangers are back better than ever. Prepare yourself for Prime, a bold new era featuring a brand new cast of characters, excitement, and attitude in the vein of Marvel's The Ultimates. So I kind of thought if I'm going to pick up any Power Rangers book, this one's probably ideal for me because it's not going to be wedded to all of the back history. I can just read this one fresh, I guess. And I quite like that cover. I do like the cover. This is something that you would be interested in, Efren? Are you a Power Rangers man?
No, I'm not. But you're making a great point because it's a good jumping on point to read this comic book. So I am going to read it. I mean, when I look at Power Rangers, I won't lie, I just flip through it so quick because I've never hardly ever read a Power Ranger book. But this is when they mention like in the vein of Marvel's The Ultimates, which I have enjoyed. So I think I'm gonna give this book a chance. Yes, definitely.
Legion's saying that great pick. The Return was great. I thoroughly enjoyed The Return. Like I say, I'm not a Power Rangers man, but correct us if I'm wrong, Legion. I'm pretty sure The Return was written by one of the actors and one of the Rangers, the Pink Ranger. which was particularly cool. Fuzzy's saying for the yeah, that's very true, Fuzzy, for the Marvel crossover event, the 5 core issues were good, but the 48 spin-offs tad excessive. And I have to say, Fuzzy, the spin-offs that I read were pretty naff. I quite enjoyed the Union Jack one, but the rest of them weren't the best, I have to say. Yeah, that's right. Amy Jo Johnson. Yeah, I thought it was. Great series, great series. Connie, nice to see you, Connie. I hope you are well. And Von Hoot's confirming Amy Jo Johnson, Kimberly, the Pink Ranger. Very cool. Okay, Efren, your next pick, mate. Ooh, nice.
This character first premiered in the What Up series, the most recent What Up series, and that show ended like about earlier this year, I believe. But they're finally making a book about this character, Kahori. It says Kahori, Reshaper of Worlds, #1. This is the breakout character from the Disney Plus What If show, makes her comic debut. The Mohawk warrior Kahori fell into Sky World and into our hearts from her first appearance, fighting invaders to her home. So I like the character in the What If series. I think it was a really good character. So I am really interested in reading how they're gonna, proceed with this character. Hopefully, it's a good storyline. And I wonder if she's coming to the Marvel main universe. It's just going to be her universe.
No, so I'm just reading down the blurb there after launches into the 616.
Yeah.
So they're bringing her into the main universe.
Yeah.
She was one of the standout episodes, I think, in that season 2, because it was a bit hit and missy. Her episode was very strong.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that. Legion's just seen it really felt like she was getting her emotions out in the comic after the death of JDF. Yeah, absolutely, bud. Absolutely. Okay, my next pick. Oh, I love this. I don't know if you've ever read any of this. This is good old James Tynion, who's knocking it out of the park with some of his books. Obviously massive name in terms of Something That's Killing the Children, but he also has written a lot of other books that I really like Wind, obviously, and the Woods, I think, was a series he did, and also the my brain's gone blank. What's the one he's writing at the moment about the serial killer, the Santa Claus?
Oh gosh, I know which one you're talking about. Such a good storyline, but I don't know the story.
It begins with a D. Fuzzy, or someone in the chat, let one know. Is it the Dissident or the Deviant? The Deviant.
Yes.
Up there, Fuzzy was straight there. Yep, the Deviant. Yeah. Fuzzy, I feel like I'm behind on the Deviant. I feel like that should have finished by now, but I'm worried I missed an issue or something. I've had a delay with that one. Anyway, Wind is a great little series. I picked up the first volume of this a while ago. It's a kind of a fantasy story, but it touches on a lot of kind of political issues and wizards and all kinds of stuff like that, and the sexuality of the main characters and things, and how they're kind of oppressed, and wizards and creatures of fairy tale are kind of beaten and have the horns cut off and all this kind of stuff. It's been a really, really interesting story. So I'm interested to see this. This is going to be the last part of the kind of the 3-book trilogy. It's issue 1 of 8. The final chapter of Wind takes flight. The king's reign is coming to a close, with Pipetown unaware of what awaits them, with fairy kind mobilizing for war, while Zendra keeps 2 faithful prisoners. It's just a fun read that's got some excellent artwork, but also some really heavy hitting storytelling. And Fuzzy and Von Hoot are both confirming that it was delayed. Okay, I thought I hadn't read the last issue for a while. Nice. Next up from you, Efren. Oh, I love this cover.
Oh my God. The minute I seen this cover, the one on the left is by Stanley Lau, Art Germ, that's Firestar. I went, oh my God, what a beautiful looking cover. This before. So this, to be honest with you, the West Coast Avengers, when they first came out, like in the 1980s or something, it was like one of my favorite reads. I just thought, wow, West Coast Avengers, so cool. And I know there's been other reiterations of them throughout the years, but this is the latest one. And, the cover on the right is by Adam Hughes. It's a foil variant. And I'm going to read it, so hopefully it's a good storyline. It says Iron Man and War Machine have put together a new team of Avengers, one that includes villains seeking a redemption. Who the villain is, I don't want any spoilers, but I know who it is. I'm going, God, I don't know about this. But there is a villain in this Avengers West Coast. Well, it says it here. It's Ultron. So we read it. I was like, oh, no, I'm not sure about that. Who, against all odds, seems to be walking the straight and narrow for now. But
I'm never sure about these villain redemption things. Ultron should be your ultimate bad guy. Do you know what I mean? I don't want him fighting with the Avengers, you know.
I remember when Red Skull was like a good guy for a couple of issues with if he didn't have the evilness in him, and I forgot the name
Oh
of
yeah, when they
the
did that
Captain
inversion thing.
America, you know. But yeah, I think some bad guys should just remain bad guys. You
I'll
know,
pick this up and give it a go. Firestar, I quite like that character, so I'll give that one a go.
yeah.
Connie's just saying, I think James Tynion can be a bit overhyped, to be honest, so I haven't picked up any of his work up in a while. Connie, I would absolutely agree. Some of his work just doesn't do it for me. There was a one that we read, Efren, that neither of us got. Was it The Closet?
Yes,
I just didn't. Yeah.
I read that book. I'm going, I don't get this, man. You know, it wasn't a
And
good stage, you know.
And Nice House by the Lake, I enjoyed it to start with, but then I
Yep.
don't know if it's just because I'm not the sharpest. It just got too clever and too convoluted, and by the midway point, it was hurting me head, you know. So yeah, you're right, Connie. I think he can be a bit overhyped. That said, some of his work is pretty good. I would really recommend the Deviant. And Connie, I know you like your fantasy, so Wind is well worth picking up the first volume of that. Fuzzy saying the final issue of Holy Rollers put back 10 weeks.
Oh, man,
crikey.
Jeez.
That's a shame because that's a tremendous little series as well.
It's the last issue. I don't get it. You know?
Yeah. Fuzzy, absolutely agree, mate. Blue Book for me was utter crap. I don't know if you read that one, Efren. I was so excited for that because I love my X-Files and my UFOs and stuff like that. But the first series just fell flat in its backside for us. We've got Kenneth. Nice to see you, Kenneth. Hope you're well, my friend. Connie, The Closet was trying to be a bit too meta for me. Yeah, I just didn't get it. I couldn't be chewed with it. I worry that, Jeff Lemire, yeah. The idea is great, but the story starts great, and then the work just escaped a bit. We're going to touch on Jeff Lemire later on, Connie, because I've picked a book that's coming out by Jeff Lemire that I'm really excited for, but I'm also really worried because it's one of my favorite teams. And I just think he's gonna. I don't know. I'm hoping he hits the landing with that one. I'll have to pick up Wind Up. I think I have volume 1 somewhere. Yeah, it's worth a read.
I've never read Wind. You know,
worth a read. Yeah.
Hey, if Ronnie Barnes can juggle 10, he's got 10 things going at once. We asked him on his board, he's got 10 projects at once. I think these guys can get their books out earlier than that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we've talked about it before. I just think it's in this day and age, I think it's criminal for big publishers to have delays like that. Yeah. And Fuzzy, I'm absolutely lost off with that Batman series we're reading. Was it Gargoyle of Gotham? I'm probably not even going to pick up the last issue now because it's just obscene how long we've waited for volume 3 or 4 or whatever it is. Okay, this is my pick. This is Patra. Now, I read issue 1 of this, was it last week or the week before? And whilst it didn't blow us away as much as it blew others away, I still enjoyed it. And the more I've thought about it and gone back and read it a second time, the more I'm intrigued more than anything by it. So this is issue 4. It's only a 4-part little mini-series. And I saw this in the solicitations and I thought, yeah, I need to see this just to see how it ends. It's got art by Scott Collins. Scott Collins became a favorite of mine when he did his Flash run a few years back. He's got a very interesting art style. I don't know if you're too familiar, Efren. It's not for everyone, but it works for me, and it worked on the Flash, and it works in this book, I think. Have you seen this one, Efren? Is this the one that came across your attention?
I've seen it, but I don't think I even read it yet. But I'm going to read it, So I think I got the first issue. I just like the cover of it. I think I got the first issue, but I just haven't read it. But I am going to read it,
It's one of those ones that I read the first time and I thought I wasn't too keen. And then I went back and read it again. And I thought, actually, do you know what? This has got us intrigued. It's basically the story of from the first issue, we think a serial killer who's escaped an institution and has murdered a family. But there's a whole host of kind of witchcraft elements and this mask appearing on this young girl who's out in the woods and all that kind of stuff. So it is interesting. Fuzzy's saying issue 2 out next week. Yeah, I know you're a big fan of it, Fuzzy. And first public domain Buck Rogers comic comes out in January. I haven't seen anything from Buck Rogers in years. I used to love that TV series. Who was the actor who played Buck Rogers? Can you remember?
Gil. I know his first name was Gil. I'm trying to blank on his last name, but yeah.
It always surprises me when you see all these sci-fi franchises that have been kind of carried on and stuff that more hasn't been done with Buck Rogers because it feels like such a classic story. yeah, looking forward to that one, Fuzzy. I'll give that one a go, definitely. Okay, Efren, you're up next.
Before I go any further, Peter, what time or when do you find time to read books? Because I usually read books in the evening, like late at night, right when I'm about to go to bed.
So I struggle, Efren, and I have bouts of being able to read and bouts when I don't. So my work, because of the job I do, I tend to not get home until 7:30, 8 o'clock each night. So particularly if I'm doing a live show and things like that, it's a bit of a challenge. So what I tend to do weekends, I struggle to sleep in. So I get up pretty early, about 6ish. And whilst the rest of the house is asleep, I'll sit downstairs in my comfy chair and read at that time. So hopefully weekends normally is when I get my reading
I
done.
try to read at least 2 to 3 books a day, by the time I go to bed. Oh, the actor's name was Gil Gerard. I just looked him up.
Okay.
Yeah. Who played remember the little character Tweaky?
Tweaky. Bitty. What about Buck?
Yeah. Who played him?
No.
It was Mel Blanc.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Guess right now. But anyways, deviate from what we're supposed to do here. I just like this cover because I go, this is ingenious, and who never thought about smashing Spider-Man with a newspaper, like a bug, So this is of course a Scotty Young cover. It says this is Amazing Spider-Man number 61. 8 deaths of Spider-Man begin. The world has changed. Dr. Doom is Sorcerer Supreme, but he has no plans to spend his time like his predecessor. Each year, Doctor Strange would use every ounce of his power and experience to save the world from an evil god and his scions, if I'm pronouncing that word right. This year, Doom is delegating the task to Spider-Man. The leader of Latveria has given Spider-Man a new magic-powered suit and 8 extra lives to which to save the world. So that's a little bit different. So just to see, what Spider-Man's going to get into. Looks like he doesn't have any choice to do this. But Doctor Doom, I mean, he's a Sorcerer Supreme now. I mean, God, who knows what he's going to do?
You're a big fan of the Scotty Young covers, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, I bought that big game books, all those books that he came out of a couple months ago. I got them all, So I just like this covers, they're very unique, childlike. I wish he would do more. I know he does DC every now and then, but I wish, he would do more of DC too.
Yeah, he did a Batman book recently. Batman Off World, I think it was, or something.
I didn't get it. So,
yeah. It was a pretty cool cover. I quite like that one.
Yeah.
But this is writer Joe Kelly. So I am pleased to see a new writer on Amazing Spider-Man. So I might pick this up and give it a go because the last few years have been pretty rough for old Spidey.
I wish Spider-Man would just get back together with Mary Jane and get it over with, man. They just won't put them together anymore.
Yeah, he has in the Ultimate Universe, I guess.
Oh yeah,
really well. Yeah. Okay, next from me. I love this. So this is Magic Order. This is the latest series. I didn't even realize this was out. I came on late to the Magic Order. I picked up the first volume after watching a review on the Nerd Herd a few years back, and I've never looked back. I love it, absolutely love it. I hadn't realized that they were doing a volume 5, and it was 3 issues in. So this is by Mark Miller. It's just a brilliant. Have you read any of the Magic Order, Efren?
No, and I was about to ask you, do you have to read the previous chapters?
I would, and I would go in blind so that you don't get any of the spoilers, because Mark Miller, I mean, incredibly talented writer. Mark Miller is an expert, I think, at doing surprises and things that happen from left field. And like I say, I'm not going to spoil it, but well, every volume of Magic Order has managed to do something that surprised us in some way. But series 1 is breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. So yeah, I'm very, very keen to read this. The last time we saw Magic Order was in the miniseries Miller's Big Game, I think I want to say it was called, where they kind of saved the day in many regards. Basic premise, Efren, of Magic Order is it's a super magic society that kind of operates in the world, but we're not aware of them. The magicians and things are happening all around all the time, and the job is to keep humanity safe, kind of thing. Well worth a read. Legion saying yes to Magic Order, brilliant series. Connie saying I loved volume 1, but I just never got around to picking it up again. Well worth reading, Connie. It maintains its shocks, shall we say, and its surprises throughout each volume so far. Yes, to all things Miller World. He's going to pedal to the metal at Dark Horse. Absolutely. Mark Miller is a phenomenal writer. Absolutely phenomenal. Only read volume 1, but it's awesome so far. Yep, well worth a read. You absolutely have to read from the start. It builds on itself the whole time. Yeah, I would agree.
So it's the same characters through each chapter?
Yeah, but it extends. Each volume kind of extends. It's the main kind of family element. I'll not, like I said, I don't want to spoil it, Efren, but there's a family kind of side to it all, which is very interesting.
That's a dog driving the car.
Yeah, I haven't got a clue what that's all about. I haven't read any of this volume. I've got no idea what's going on in that image. Not a clue.
Okay.
So yeah. And like Legion says, yes, if they survive, no one is safe. And that's what I love about Mark Miller's stuff. He's not afraid of losing characters. We've got Hector. Nice to see you. Hope you're well, bud. Hope you are well. Okay, Efren, your next pick, my friend.
Oh,
another Scotty Young.
Then what was the previous one? Was that Spider-Man 61? I think. Okay, here I go, man. I'm gonna do next month, guys. I'm not gonna choose any Scotty Young books, just to let you know. But there's another great cover.
If you like him, pick him, Efren. If you like him, pick him.
I mean, first one with a newspaper squashing a spider, and this one with a bug spray, killing a spider, so to speak. Oh God, so I just like these covers. But this is a continuation. Spider-Man number 62 is a continuation of the 8 deaths of Spider-Man continue. So if you read a couple of seconds ago, I just said that Dr. Doom is a sorcerer supreme, and instead of him, doing what Doctor Strange normally does, he's giving certain powers to Spider-Man to one death down. So it looks like he killed one of the 8 characters supposed to kill. Next, he faces the Scion of Sidarok, which is a juggernaut. So we'll see how this one goes. So I really want to read this series.
Well, the fact that Joe Kelly's writing it's got us more interested, I have to say, because I've not been a fan of Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, for a while. But Joe Kelly, I think, is a very good writer. Fuzzy's just saying he's doing a cover for all 8 issues.
Okay.
I'm wondering then, Fuzzy, I haven't seen any of the future ones. Are they all going to be linked to this theme then? Because each 2 issues being some way of killing Spider-Man, isn't it?
8 deaths.
So if the series is 8 deaths, that would be a pretty cool lineup if you get all 8 issues. Yeah. We've got Comic Journey here asking if we're live. We are live. We are live, Efren. Are you live?
I think we're live, So yeah.
We think we're live. Hashtag look at you. I've got a slide for that at the end. Efren, are you aware that you featured on Comic Journey's video?
No.
Yeah, so I'll show you the slide later on, Efren. Comic Journey has done a very nice little kind of video about you and promoting you and your channel.
Oh, wow.
So tip of the hat to you for that, CJ. It's very, very good and it's very well received. So
I'll look it up.
Yeah. Okay, next from me. You do know I love a bit of horror, a bit of murder and mystery and monsters and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely loving Jeff Jones's current run. This is a guy, we're talking about delays to books. Jeff Jones is a guy that just churns books out constantly, but they're all top tier, they're all quality. So I don't know how Jeff Jones can put out like 15 books a week.
Yeah.
And then other people are like 8 weeks delay. It's just madness to us. But this is Jeff Jones. This is a horror series behind the team of Blackest Night. And I just can't wait for this. It's Ivan Reis doing artwork, and he's one of my favorite artists. And it says basically deep dive into the denizens of Hyde Street, a boy scouting a mission to destroy a corrupt cop and all the authority figures he can get his hands on. But who is Pranky and where did he come from? What's his favorite knot to tie? I love this kind of tale. This is right up my street. I'll definitely be trying that. So yeah, that's one of my favorites. We have got let's have a look. Footage confirming that is the premise of all of those covers. MJ, yes, I saw that. It was nice of CJ. CJ is a top guy, very entertaining channel, so check that out. The Illuminati do God's work. They absolutely do. But we have got Mr. X. Are you alive? Nope, zombies in here. Nice to see you, Mr. X. Mr. X, for those of you that haven't seen his channel, he's got a phenomenal channel, particularly dedicated to statues, but he does bonkers stuff on there as well. He's just picked up one of those ridiculous X-Beast car things, the Tesla tank things, and he's done a great load of videos on them, and they are amazing. So well worth checking up. I have to say, Mr. X, I could not believe your first video when you were showing the state of the thing from the dealer. It was filthy. Yeah, not a good way to pick up a car. But please do check out his channel. Don't let it get to your head. You better keep making good content. Don't. But yeah, you're representing now, Efren. You're representing. And Legion of Comics, all things Ghost Machine are mandatory and top notch.
I agree.
Absolutely, could not agree more. Geiger, I think, is my favorite. That series just gets better and better and better.
That whole universe is blowing up.
Yeah.
I really love it.
Yeah, and I'm loving Rook as well. It's just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. It amazes me how you guys keep up with all these storylines. Yeah, it's tough at times, but the teaser for this week's Geiger, the teaser for this was in Geiger this week. Oh, I've not read it yet, Fuzzy. Was it? Let me know. Was it any good? Did you like it? Okay, Efren, your next pick, my friend.
Really quick, Peter. That go back to your picture. That's an homage from the
the
Scream in '93. I just looked it up. But anyways,
very cool.
Ever since San Diego Comic-Con, I've jumped back on J. Scott Campbell. I mean, his books that he had at San Diego Comic-Con, they were of Spider-Girl. I just really liked them. And ever since then, to me, I jumped back on his wagon, so to speak. I love his artwork. This is a new book that's coming out. This is Wolverine, Laura Kinney Wolverine. It says Wolverine takes the fight to those who stand as enemies of mutant kind. Laura Kinney was bred to be the ultimate assassin as X-23. She's long left that life behind, but as she encounters mutants being forced to use their powers against their will, Wolverine takes it upon herself to right these wrongs, no matter who stands in her way. I hope this is a good series. I mean, I love the cover. I'm sure there's going to be other covers of it. I'm buying this one for sure.
I'm a big fan of this character, so I'm looking forward to reading more. I'm desperate for a 1/6 scale figure of Laura. I'm hoping we'll get one following the Deadpool movie, but
I have a figure of hers.
Have you?
Yeah,
1/6 scale.
No, not 1/6 scale. No.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, incredible character. Looking forward to reading more about her. My next pick. I'm a sucker for a bit of Justice League, but I'm an even bigger sucker for Mark Waid's work. This is a Jim Lee cover. This is a relaunch of Justice League on the back of their Absolute Power mini-series. Like I say, it's Mark Waid. Mark Waid wrote some of my favorite Flash tales and some of my favorite Justice League tales. So I think I'll have to give this a go. I know Justice League isn't everybody's cup of tea, but for me, if you get the Trinity written well, it's gold. So yeah, looking forward to reading this. This basically says Justice League are back bigger and better than ever. In the wake of Absolute Power in the DC, all in special, Darkseid's death has triggered a massive power vacuum in the DCU. So yeah, can't wait to read that one. And stunning artwork, stunning cover by Jim Lee. Let's have just a quick look in the chat before we move on. The teaser was the Ash Khan. Okay. Legion, what did you think of the Invisible Man being revealed? Superb. Absolutely superb. Dead Man, that's the Ash Khan you... Was that the Ash Khan you sent us, Dead Man? I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but yeah, it looks very, very cool. Yes, the GL back with Captain Atom on the team as well. Yeah, that'll be very cool. I'm liking the look of the Martian Manhunter. CJ saying the best Jim Lee cover I've seen in years. Absolutely. I tell you what I discovered recently. I've never seen it before. I don't know if you've seen it. It was on Amazon, and it was Mark Hamill's Pop Culture Quest. Have you seen that before?
No.
So it's from about 5 years ago or something. I've like I say, totally missed me by, but it's basically a series of 10 little half-hour episodes where Mark Hamill does geeky stuff. And the reason I mention it is the first episode, he goes to the offices of DC Comics and he meets Jim Lee. And Jim Lee does him a sketch of Joker there and then, and it's absolutely phenomenal. But I always knew that DC had a good archive and all that kind of stuff. But when you see some of the stuff they've got on display, it was just amazing. Like the full original artwork for the do you remember that very famous dial-in for whether you kill Robin or save Robin? They've got the original page of he survived kind of artwork and stuff. Well worth watching if you get the chance to watch the little series. It was good fun. If you don't like Justice League, we can't be friends. I'm a big fan, mate. DC's making the new JLU the backbone of the all-in era. It should be on every DC reader's pull. Yeah, when JLA is done well, it's done incredibly well. I still go back to the relaunch a few years back where they were fighting the Martians and things. It's some of the best written Batman and Superman I think you'll ever get.
So is the series going to be called Justice League Unlimited?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I don't know. I'm sorry to say anything controversial. I don't know if DC are kind of distancing the Justice League America element and they're trying to make it a more inclusive thing. I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
forgot about that. That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I like to myself from America sometimes, but that's just me. So
NYX, this is yours, Efren.
I just another cool looking to me X-23 or Wolverine cover. But she's not. Looks like she's wearing her old costume, or it's a different costume from what other ones look like. But anyways, this is NYX5. It says they've been fired, arrested, thrown out, beaten, and betrayed. NYC is putting Ms. Marvel, Wolverine, Anole, Prodigy, and Sophie Cuckoo through the ringer. But there's no time to rest. A riot's brewing where the machinations of the Quiet Council and the hatred of the Truth Seekers will come to an electric conclusion. For the fate of every mutant in the city, Marvel just loves putting X-Men and mutants through the ringer, man. They just can't give them any peace. They had it for a couple of years, but that's all true for all comic books.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was a millionaire. He just had his own company. And then they took that all away from him. They always had to put him down in their luck. I think if they were always on top, they'd be boring. So they always have to put the odds against them.
I've not really managed to read a lot of the relaunched X-Men titles. They're on my list to read, but I noticed there was something on Instagram or something today saying that they've now announced the first crossover event for the new X titles. I mean, how it's just started. Do we really want crossovers already?
Give it at least a year or two,
Yeah.
But that's a good point, yes.
I think they kill it a little bit by expecting people to read 15 different books,
Yeah.
Flash by Night Comics, nice to see you. He's saying, I'm not a big team book guy, but I'm giving JLU a try. Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's worth a go. They did it a while back. It was called Justice League. Yeah, I remember that. That was when they relaunched in the new 52, wasn't it? Yeah. Flash by Night. I think the Unlimited is because they have a lot of the characters rotating in and out. Yeah, I agree. And CJ is saying, big mistake calling it Justice League Unlimited. Too many people will associate it with the animated series. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that. I loved the animated series, mate. But yeah, you're right.
That was such a long time ago. Maybe they won't,
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's still Justice League Unlimited, still one of my go-tos.
My 3 DC statues that I got from Sideshow are all from the Unlimited series. So I really like that series.
I tell you, they did some of the storylines perfectly. I mean, they did the Alan Moore Superman story. As a Flash fan, I was absolutely over the moon to see him get some spotlight. There's a great one where I think Lex Luthor becomes Brainiac, and Flash takes him down in the end, which was amazing. Yeah, just great series. Too many, not top. Yeah, we got it, CJ. We got it, mate. X-Men kicked off a jump on point with 9 titles. Absolutely, yeah. And Fuzzy saying a new Magic ongoing. Ooh, I've not seen that, mate.
Yeah,
Magic's one of my favorite characters. So I'm saying that, Efren. I'm saying that. I say things like one of my favorite characters. And what I mean by that is I loved her back in the New Mutants run when she was the demon child and all that kind of stuff. I've kind of lost touch with where she's at these days. I see images of her and I think that's not the Magic I remember reading when she was kind of all red and scaly with the forked tongue and stuff, So.
I don't know. I think these companies like Marvel and DC in particular, I think they're so used to now just for every mutant, there's like 9 titles, it's just a norm for them. I don't know if they know how to scale back and just do maybe 1 or 2, books a month for a little bit and then start, processing going forward from there.
Yeah.
But I just don't think they can do that anymore,
I think it just swamps the market and people just get overwhelmed,
Yeah.
Okay, my next pick. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about before. I'm a big Justice Society of America fan, particularly the Jeff Jones run from pre-52, where he reinvented the team and just did some amazing work. I love these characters, and we're getting a relaunch, a new series, but it's by Jeff Lemire. And Jeff Lemire, I have to say, I really struggle with his work. I don't know if you've read much Jeff Lemire, Efren.
From you, I have a bunch of his indie books. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
The vampire one with Jeff Lemire. Remember those?
yeah, Little Monsters. He did Maze Book. He
Yeah.
did Fish Flies recently. I find some of his work hard work. So I don't know. I've not read Sweet Tooth, but I know that's got great reviews. So I'll give this a go. I will definitely give this a go. I love the characters. You've got, Dr. Fate in there and all the rest of it, Ted Grant, Hourman, some cracking characters. So yeah, I will give it a go and just see what it's like. But
I don't know much about the JSA, but they're from the golden age of comics, right? But it's gonna be modern time for them.
yeah, it all gets a bit confusing and convoluted. I'm not so sure about the new 52 continuity, but back in the old DC continuity, there were World War II heroes.
Yes. Okay.
And they did age. Some of them aged, like Alan Scott and Jay Garrick and things like that, but they didn't age as rapidly as you might expect. And then there are legacy characters. So like Kendra, who's the Hawk girl, is a legacy character, and you've got a different version of Sandman, Hourman. I don't know if they're doing Rex. I don't know if they're doing the robot and things like that. Right. Legion saying it's simple. They're from Earth 2 and now they live on Earth 1.
Okay.
Right, grand.
Nice.
Worth picking up. I'll definitely give it a go. Next one, bit of Cassandra.
I don't see. This is by Stanley Lau, art German. That's the reason I picked this cover. One of my favorite artists. It's Batgirl #1. I've never seen her face. Now that I think about it, have you ever seen her face without her mask on?
Yeah. So
I just thought about that.
Yeah, no, I love this character. So back during, again, going back to the old books, it was during the Cataclysm phase, wasn't it, where she kind of first appeared, but then she was revealed later on. I think from memory, and again, my recent DC knowledge is a little bit hitty missy.
Me too.
She couldn't speak, but I think that's changed now.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where she is or what she's doing these days.
Well, yeah, it says here, hold on to your seats, clutch your pearls, and rejoice in celebration, because Cassandra Cain is taking center stage in her first solo Batgirl series in nearly 2 decades. Oh, in 2 decades, she's been around that long. Actually, I'm not the world's greatest expert on DC, but I've been reading a lot of DC within the last 5 years. When a deadly group of assassins shows up to kill Cassandra, Lady Shiva comes to the rescue, and they must put their complicated past aside and work together as mother and daughter to ensure they make it out alive. Yeah. So I love the cover. I'm definitely going to get this book. I'm going to read it, and I got to look her up to see what her face looks like. But I've never seen her without her mask.
Yeah. She's I mean, I loved her back in when I was reading Batman a lot. It was during that Cataclysm phase and things like that, and she was an amazing character back then. Legion is saying she talks now, just not a lot, hangs out with Spoiler and makes regular appearances in tech. I think, did they do a recent Birds of Prey series, Legion? I think I read the first issue of that.
Yeah, I've been reading that. It's been okay.
But she seemed super powered in that one. My memory of Batgirl was she was just an extremely skilled fighter. But I think in that Birds of Prey, she was almost like super powered or something. I can't remember. Art Gem X23, Efren is happy. Yeah.
Doesn't take a lot to be happy.
Volume 1 of Batgirl was Cassandra for 73 issues.
Okay.
Yeah, she stuck around for a while and disappeared. My next pick, speaking of characters that kind of disappeared, Black Lightning. So this is a relaunch, Black Lightning #1. Jefferson Pierce is a character that I've not read a great deal of, and I didn't see any of the CW TV series from a few years back.
That was a good series.
But he's always a character that I really enjoyed when I saw him in Justice League and things like that. So I thought, this cover jumped out at us as soon as I saw it. I thought, yeah, that looks pretty darn amazing. And I think I remember his daughters from the Jeff Jones JSA run and the Flash. I think they were in the Flash for a few occasions. So give it a go. It's an issue 1. It's a new start. I'll definitely give this a read and see if it floats me board. Legion, she's a great fighter on the Bat family. I don't know about powers are passed on Birds of Prey. Yeah. Black Lightning making a comeback. Sanford Green cover. It's a beautiful cover, that one, mind. I have to say, it really is a nice cover. So yeah, I'll definitely be giving this one a go. What about you, Efren? Is this one that interests you?
Definitely. I've said this before in the past, but one of the things I like about this show in particular is that there's so many books that I just miss. I don't even see this cover when I go through my list of books to pick out, but I love the DC series, the Warner Brothers series, Black Lightning. I thought it was really well done. But definitely gonna read this. Yeah, I love the cover.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, your next pick, bud. Oh, and you picked this one just to spite me because you knew I would pick this one, didn't you?
I knew, Peter, you know what? You're the monster expert. You can read this one. Go ahead. I knew we were both going to pick this one, but this is all you, buddy. Go ahead.
This is from our friend, and he is
Yes.
our friend now because we've spoken to him in detail.
Yeah.
This is from our friend Rodney Barnes with some absolutely obscenely beautiful artwork. This is Batman Full Moon issue 1. Is coming out soon, I believe. But this is the follow-on. Basically, it's Batman and werewolves. I don't know what more you need. It looks amazing. It's a black label book, so you know it's going to be balls to the wall. It's going to be it's yeah. I just can't wait. I cannot wait. And the covers, the first cover is glow in the dark. So really look forward to this. This is cover B. Cover A is just as stunning. So I'm really excited for this series, I have to say.
Yeah, I'm surprised Fuzzy hasn't made some kind of crack of me talking about Rodney Barnes. But yes, I can't wait for this series to come out. When we interviewed him a couple of weeks ago, what a nice guy. Just very down to earth. But I can't wait to read this book. I think it's his first book from DC too. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah.
Is it?
What's the one before?
Yeah, I think he said that he'd written something, but I couldn't remember what it was. He hasn't written Batman, I don't think.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
Chris, nice to see you, Chris. I hope you're well. Chris did a live show on Saturday, which was an unboxing. Well worth checking out. We've got some amazing stuff. Just voted for you, Peter. Thank you very much, Chris. And yes, mate, best arse category. That's right. Thank you very much. That's for the Comic Book Community Awards. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Okay, next from me. Lush, just lush. This is Batman: The Long Halloween, the last Halloween. I am a massive Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale fan. This is the kind of the sequel follow-on to Batman: The Long Halloween, and then the books that followed that, which I absolutely loved. I just can't wait to get into this. Now, my big difficulty with this is, as much as I love the artwork and the single issues and things like that, I absolutely love the absolute editions. So I don't know whether I'm going to read this or just hold off and then get it in one collected volume to sit and go through it in my leisure. I don't know. But just stunning. Artwork's beautiful. Excited for this one. Have you read any of the originals about this?
No,
have you read
I have not. And
Long Halloween's a classic. You should read Long Halloween.
Why do they call it absolute cover edition?
So these are single floppy issue comics.
Okay.
Absolutes are the lovely oversized hard books that I like. So it's a hardcover and a slipcase. And Ephraim, I'm seeing if I've got one here. I haven't. I'm getting very old. Do you know what I mean? The absolute editions are a larger scale print. So it's bigger than A4 size. And it's just, you get to drink the artwork up even more, always on good quality paper. So yeah, that's my preferred reading style.
Do they add any extra things to it?
Yeah. You normally get, well, not always, but with some of them, you get different add-ons. So for example, Crisis on Infinite Earth, you get like a standalone book about the background and stuff. Same with Justice League versus Avengers. I think you get a standalone book that goes with it that talks about all the past and all the rest of it, which is really cool.
I'm definitely going to read this book, and I'm going to read the first series, because you get on talking about Kingdom Come by DC, which I finally read.
Yeah,
it's a great book. There's so many books you just miss. I'm definitely going to read the first one though before this.
Honestly, Long Halloween is one of the all-time classics. It's just stunning, and I'll not spoil it, but there's some great surprises in there. Von Hoot, not sure he ordered the cover for the last Batman book. Yeah, well worth getting on that one, bud. Remember, this Saturday's Batman Day. First prelude to the new Long Halloween will release that day. Yeah, and if you're in the UK, ladies and gents, I can't remember which comic shop it is, but I know Jock is going to be signing books for Batman Day. Have a little Google of it. I can't remember which shop it is down in London, but well worth checking out. Phil, if you don't mind me asking, Peter, where do you pick your books up from? Is it a subscription? So I pick up my regular books from Slabbed Crusaders, but then my graphic novels and things, I look all over the place. I go for wherever's cheapest, mate. Chris is saying, gosh, Chris, this is an ideal time. Someone's asking where I pick up books you might just want to drop in the chat your link and your discount code, because there's a very good bookshop that Chris has got a discount code for. So yeah, check that out. But yeah, I pick up my floppies from Slab Crusaders. Connie, large print version of a normal hardback. It is pretty much, Connie. It's just a much bigger volume, and it's a nicer design. Legion, Kingdom Come is greatest comic ever.
Wow.
You see, I like this guy. See,
Yeah.
Legion, I am absolutely with you. Absolutely with you. It is one of the best stories ever written.
Yeah.
Cannot wait for the special TV show that's coming out soon about Kingdom Come documentary. That's going to be amazing. I wonder if they'll have saved all the tin sales covers. Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. It's yeah, an interesting one. An interesting one. Gosh Comics, yeah. Let one know in the comments, Chris, where you order books from and what your discount code is, so people can jump on that, mate. And yes, gosh. Okie dokie. Next book for you, Efren. Howie, man, Efren. What are you playing at? Santa Claus.
I just love this cover, man, and I read it. Batman, Santa Claus, Silent Night Returns. 1 of 5. This is written by Jeff Parker. Horrors haunt the Christmas season as life-drained bodies litter the countryside, each marked with a strange symbol. The Justice League responds, but it's a trap. The heroes are pulled from our world, but not before Batman helps Robin escape. Now Damian Wayne must seek out Zatanna and the one and only Santa Claus if there's any hope of saving their friends and family. Santa comes to the aid of the DCU heroes in the crossover event sequel you wished for. So I honestly, this is a sequel. I've never read the first series of it. So, but I just love this cover. I like the way Santa Claus is all buffed out. It looks like a good story. So I'm going to read it.
When you sent this over to us and I saw the image of Santa with the axe,
yeah,
I thought it was a crossover, because I'm sure there's another series. It might even be by Grant Morrison. And the guys over on the Nerd Herd reviewed it, called Klaus, I think. And I thought it was a crossover of some sorts, but obviously not. This must be a sequel to another DC one. Chris is saying, I can't promote on your screen. I have decorum, I think. Off my shelves for 5% off at Sci-Fi Books, in case I have no decorum. Bases covered. Absolutely. Yeah. So check out Sci-Fi, and if you stick in Off My Shelves, you'll get a 5% discount. Well worth doing, because the books are already cheap as chips. Dead Man's confirming it was a 4-issue miniseries back in February. Okay. And Legion saying first was a mini last Christmas. It was great. Okay. Dan Mora drew Klaus. Okay. And this was an unofficial crossover. Tons of fun. Glad it's back. I might have to check that one out then. Check that one out.
Legion of Comics. What was the title called? Was it Batman Santa Claus again, Silent Night, or was there a different name for the series when it came out the first time? If you know, please let us know.
Yeah. There was a movie. Was it last year or the year before? Can't remember what it was called, but with David Harbour, where he played, was it Violent Night? I want to say, where he played kind of a version of Santa Claus that had like a war hammer and stuff. Did you see that one, everyone?
I think I didn't see it, but I remember seeing the previews. But speaking of Santa Claus, there's a movie coming out, and I seen a preview of it. The actor who plays J. Jonah Jameson,
he's
like a buffed out Santa Claus. They show him lifting weights, and I think he gets kidnapped. So
Dwayne Johnson's in it, isn't he?
Yes.
I think it's called Red One. I think
so.
Violent Night. That's the one. That's the one. Batman, Santa Claus, Silent Night. They fought Krampus. Okay. See, Krampus, that's got us interested.
So many books we have to read.
Yeah, I have to go back and read that one.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Why have I picked this? So this is my pick. This is Deadpool Team Up 4-5, and I tell you why I've picked this. So I saw the cover, and it's by Rob Liefeld, and it's Major X. Now I don't know if you know the history of Major X, but Major X came out years and years ago. At the same time, it was a relaunch. So they cancelled Deadpool, Marvel this is, cancelled Deadpool, and they brought out Major X. They cancelled Cable, and they brought out Soldier X.
Yeah.
And there was rumblings and rumors for years and years and years saying that it was done to try and stop paying Rob Liefeld royalties on the Deadpool character and stuff, but they never really confirmed it. And then just 6 months or so ago, Rob Liefeld did something on X and said, it's been confirmed now. One of the Marvel editors said, absolutely, it was a decision by Marvel to get rid of kind of Deadpool so you wouldn't get the money from it. So I think that's what's prompted us to pick this up, just so I can see what it's all about. I mean, it looks naff, doesn't it? It looks, yeah. Oh God, I'll give it a go. I will give it a go and see what I think. Legion # Team Liefeld. Yeah. Do you know what? Rob Liefeld gets an awful lot of stick, rightfully so at times, because he's a bit of an interesting character. But I kind of read some of his stuff on Twitter and things like that. And actually, a lot of the time, he talks a lot of sense. He's, I don't know. I like his enthusiasm and his excitement. I'm not sure if that's chemically induced, but I do like his excitement a lot of the time. That sci-fi website, if you buy 3 pre-loved trades, you get 20% off. Order a few times. They're a decent website. That's interesting, James. I wonder if you add Chris's code in there, # off my shelves, you'll get an extra percentage off that 20%. That'll be interesting. Dead Man saying Klaus is totally different Peter from Boom Studios. Right, okay. 7-issue mini, and then there's been 4 or 5 one-shots. Good stuff. Thank you for that, Terry. Make Marvel pay Rob. Absolutely. He's hard to cash as poor old Rob. So yeah. Liefeld is the last rock star of the comics world. He always talks sense. He just does it in a way that triggers people, which makes it even better. You know what? I'm not going to disagree with that, mate. I'm not going to disagree with that. I've seen him over the last year or two in particular. I've kind of grown to like him more and more, if I'm being honest. One of the one-shots was $10 with no words. Oh, it was good, but no words. Oh, yeah, not sure about that. Okay, next one from you, Efren. This is an interesting pick for you.
Remember when we read The Devil That Wears His Face? I think that I love that book.
My face, yeah.
And this one, to me, I haven't read the first one. And I'm starting to, like I said, thanks to you and James, and watching your shows and just talking about horror, I'm starting to more and more appreciate horror, even though sometimes it just scares the bejesus out of me, So, but this is Exorcism at 1600 pen. And it says, after Mara was involved in what students called a satanic and violent incident at school, the first family worries that she's succumbing to the stress of being the daughter of the first female president. But unbeknownst to them, a dark force looms with the doom-scrolling shadows. Meanwhile, the Havana syndrome situation is causing tension in the Oval Office as President Kelly's trusted circle advises military action that could tip the global scale to World War II, despite her better instincts. The first one, when the devil possessed like a religious clerk in the Pope's inner circle, was fantastic. And to me, having something to do with 1600 Penn Street, the White House, and there's an exorcism there, I go, God, that's awesome storyline. So I can't wait to read this story.
I mean, this is exactly the kind of book I like, so I will definitely be reading this.
Yeah.
Fuzzy saying issue 1 out in a month's time. Great jock cover. Yeah, seeing that, it looks stunning. And Dead Man saying Chris the comic vet got an early issue 1 of this, says it's brilliant.
Yeah,
I love anything like this, so yeah, I'll be reading that one as well. And I love that cover. That cover. Yep, sounds very cool. Next one from me, Incredible Hulk. I've kind of dropped off with Hulk a little bit. I enjoyed the new run from issue 1 onwards, and then I've kind of dropped it a little bit. So this is a 800th issue, anniversary issue. I thought I'd pick it up just to kind of see where we're at with it, see what's happening, and see if it's any good, because it started strong, but it's kind of dipped a little bit for me. I think it struggled for me because I had some temporary artists that I didn't particularly enjoy. So yeah, I'll give it a go. See what it's like.
Yeah.
Dead Man looks like a young Kate Bush. Loving the writing, hate the sweat. Yeah, it's what I've just said. It's for me, it's so variable in terms of the artwork. Interestingly, I haven't got an image to show, but a good few issues ago, they showed there was a couple of issues where there was a version of Ghost Rider who was on a motorbike, a military kind of bike.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time saying he's a brilliant character. I noticed there's either a series or a mini series coming out set during the war with him and Wolverine. So that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to see seeing that. Dead Man, not the Hulk, not on the Hulk cover. Oh, I think he's saying you look like a young Kate Bush, Efren. Is that right? Is that right? Yeah, Uncle Sal Ghost Rider is great. That's the one.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that series because I really like that character. Efren, this is looking interesting.
Yeah, I love this cover. I mean, even before I even read what it was about, I just like this cover. It looks like almost like a cowboy going through like with sci-fi. It says question all along the Watchtower #1 of 6. Says who watches the Watchtower in the wake of absolute power? The Justice League Unlimited has created a haven for all heroes, but can they keep it secure? Enter Renee Montoya, who is the question, I believe now, reeling from an abrupt end to her time in Gotham and looking for a place to hang her hat. But the Trinity didn't bring her up to the Watchtower to relax. There's a dark thread bubbling underneath the surface, and only the question and her ad hoc support team stand a chance of figuring out who the problem is before it's too late. So I think it's a cool looking cover, and I'm definitely going to read this one. So.
I like the question as a character, so yeah, I'll give this one a go.
Yeah.
Dead Man saying no on the previous book. Yeah, I got you, Terry. I got you. I still think Efren looks a bit like her as well. Okay. Funny one, considering the connection of the question with Watchmen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Next one from me. Captain America 15. I'm not up to speed with this particular run, but it's by J. Michael Straczynski. Can't say his name. Yeah. New Warriors 3, Part 2. Love the New Warriors. Love the team up of Captain America, Thor in his classic looking costume there, and Spidey. And I just really like that cover. So again, I just thought I'd give this a go just to see what it's all about. It's just a striking cover. Really striking cover. Nice of you to join, MJ. Thank you very much. Catch you in a bit, bud. Okay, next one from you, Efron. Lower Decks.
Lower Decks. I love this animated series, Lower Decks. It's coming to a conclusion, and that's the reason I picked it. I usually don't pick a Star Trek animated series. It's the first time I've ever done it before, but this is Lower Decks #1. Hot off their Eisner nomination for Lower Decks, tie-in Shaq's Best Day. Stellar duo Ryan North and Derek Charm are kicking off a brand new ongoing series as a big fun adventure on a big fun ship. If it's anything like the series, the anime series, I'm gonna read it. But it's just fun to read. To me, this is what comic books is all about, and animated shows.
I've still not managed to watch any of the Lower Decks.
It's so good. Well done.
Yeah, I'll get to it. I will get to it. Flash is saying the Watchtower synopsis sounds interesting. I wonder who's on her team. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Okay, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue #4 by Jason Aaron. This is the Donatello specific issue. I'm going to touch on this in a little bit in the review section. Normally, with a new series, I'll give it 4 issues and decide whether I'm going to continue on or not. So I've put this on here because this will be my decision point as to whether it stays on my read list or not. Have you read any of the new series, Efren?
Nope. I've only read one Turtle series my whole life. It was The Last Ronin. That's the only one I've ever read. So
yeah. Well, we'll touch on this in a little bit because I'm going to go into this in a little bit more detail. But yeah, I put this on because it's Donatello, my favorite of the Turtles, and that's my decision point to see if it's any good. Dead Man, Efren, have you seen the crossover Lower Decks with the Strange New Worlds episode? I'd heard they'd done that.
Oh yes, I was so well done. They started, the animated series, and they go through like this, like I forgot, I can't even what it is, but just like this, they find this weird like artifact in a planet, and the main character gets sucked through it, and when he does, he ends up in Strange New Worlds.
Right.
It was really well done. I really liked it. It was awesome. Yeah.
Was it the guy who plays Huey in The Boys? Yeah, I thought so.
So yeah, he got sucked into this portal, and he ends up in Strange New Worlds, and he's like any fanboy would be, just in awe of all these characters because he knows their history. So it was very well done. Yes, loved it.
I'll have to check that out. Okay, Efren, this is exciting.
I picked this.
You picked this. This.
I always look for #1s. It's one of my main points for advance orders. And to be honest with you, I haven't been a big G.I. Joe reader throughout the years, but it's a #1, so it's a series premiere. So I'm going to give it a try. It's a series premiere, the biggest comic book launch of the decade. Conrad Hauser, codenamed Duke, has assembled a special force known as G.I. Joe to battle the rising power of the mysterious Cobra in the aftermath of the Autobots and Decepticons' arrival on Earth. I've been reading this whole, basic reboot of the, Autobots and Decepticons and everything. So, and I read, I think there was a Duke miniseries
Yeah,
too.
there was. Duke was very good.
I read that, and the reason I've been reading this is it's a great chance to start when somebody who hasn't been reading this, all their lives. So, and I've been enjoying the series.
So I've been reading. I'm not up to speed with the latest couple of issues, but I've been reading Duke. Cobra Commander was very good. Destro. I think I've read 2 issues of Scarlet. I think is out at the moment. I'm really excited for this. I'm not a massive G.I. Joe reader like yourself, Efren, but I had all the action figures back in the day, and I still got a lot of the action. I've got some 1/6 scale versions of G.I. Joe characters. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And Joshua Williamson's been doing some great work with this. Yo Joe made exactly. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. This will be cool. And that's it. That's all of our picks. Let me know if there's any you think we've missed that you are looking forward to coming out in November. What we're going to look at now is just a couple of books that we're not particularly keen on ourselves. Worth mentioning that these are just our picks. Everybody's got their own views and opinions. So we're not saying don't buy them. We're just saying that these books don't appeal to us in particular. Fuzzy's just saying, I'm interested by this, disappointed with Scarlet and Destro, fell off them. Ready for this now. I've waited long enough. Yeah, I've not read the latest issue of Scarlet or Destro, but I agree, Fuzzy, they weren't as strong as Duke in particular and Cobra Commander. Okay, so books we're not particularly keen on picking up. Efren, I'm surprised at this one, Spider-Man Reign.
I don't know what this book is all about. To me, it's more just this cover. I'm going, what the heck is going on with this cover, man? I just went, no. It may be the greatest book ever. Like I said, this is more of a cover nope for me. I haven't even read Spider-Man 2. I don't know if this is issue number 2 or 1. I just didn't like this cover at all. So that's why I picked it, and it could be a great storyline. It's just the cover that just turned me off, so to speak.
I mean, I'm looking at the image on the cover there, and it reminds us of someone. I'm not sure who. I think maybe it's me when I'm in the bath.
I don't know if it's Kingpin or what.
It is. It's Kingpin, mate. It's Kingpin.
Okay.
Efren, this is one of those ones that, it's interesting because you are missing out. Because Spider-Man Reign, the original miniseries, was absolutely phenomenal. And this, I've only read issue 1, but it has been great. So the basic story is this is Spider-Man in the future. In series 1, it was a bit controversial because basically MJ is dead because Spider-Man and her had sex over the years and he's killed her with radiation poisoning.
I think I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. But this series has been really good. But I get what you're saying. The cover's not particularly appealing, to be honest. But yeah, it's worth a read. My pick, again, purely because it's just not for me. And it jumped out at us because our pal Super Sorrel is always talking about this. Monster High. 25 years of Monster High. Dear God. But yeah, just not for me at all. I'll not be picking that up. But then, to be fair, it's not aimed at me, is it? I don't think. So yeah, not a one that I'll be picking up. We've got Desired Comics here. Nice to see you, Nigel. Hope you're well, bud. Fuzzy's just saying Spider-Man Reign has been fantastic. It's a good it is an interesting series, interesting take on Spidey. I liked Scott a lot, Destro not so much. Unsolicited ranking, Cobra Commander, Destro, Scarlet, then wow, Duke last. I really enjoyed Duke. Really enjoyed Duke. I would have probably gone Cobra Commander, Duke, and then Destro, Scarlet, just because I haven't read much of them. What about you, Efren? If you had to order them?
I've been reading them. Like I said, the reason I've been reading them is they basically have started episode or issue number 1, and I've been enjoying it. But yeah.
Okay. Fuzzy, it's drawn and written by, I can't say that name, Fuzzy. You just done that to test us. Carl Andrews, bonkers but fun. I don't know who Carl Andrews is. Do you know who Carl? Let me know in the chat, Fuzzy, who Carl Andrews is. Don't know that name. Dolly's, no, move on. 25 years of IDW. Got you, dead man. Got you. Book for tween girls isn't your cup of tea. I know you probably read it, Von Hoot, but yeah, it's not for me, mate. It's not for me. Okay, reviews. So, Kari like Atari. Got you. Reviews. So a couple of books we've been reading recently that we just wanted to mention. Ephraim, we'll start off with you. Florence.
And Norman. So this is a book by Rodney King. It's a just one book. It's more like a novel. Basically, it takes place in L.A. and there's one cop, who basically is just your normal cop who's just always looking for trouble, doesn't really trust anybody in the streets. And he arrests this character on the right-hand side, and but then there's all these cameras all around, and then lo and behold, there's an invasion, a space invasion that comes out of nowhere. And it just talks about their differences to begin with, how he doesn't trust anybody, but he has to trust them if he wants to save the Earth. And they do at the end, even the cop, just joins up with gang members and they go on a mission to save everybody. And it's a really good storyline. It does have not just have to do with this alien invasion, but just how people from different walks of life, when it comes to, they put all their chips in, they have to get along. And they find out they have more in common than they thought, and then at the end they save the world, everything's saved. And they, at the end of the book, it has a good ending where, hey, we may be different, but we're the same. And,
is it a standalone book?
Afterwards,
is it a standalone book? Is it
standalone novel? It's by Rodney Barnes, his Zombie production, his company. And it's also by the rap artist Exhibit. He has a collaboration with this also. It's a good storyline. I just really enjoyed it. Sometimes to me, you read a book and you get into it so much, you don't even, sometimes some books, because, oh my God, when is the story going to end? And it was just a very easy read, and I really enjoyed it.
Good stuff. I'll give that one a go because I do like Rodney's work.
Yeah.
My pick is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issues 1 and 2. Relaunched by Jason Aaron, who's a phenomenal writer. Much like yourself, Ephraim, I've not read a lot of Turtles stuff. I watched the cartoon and the movies and all the rest of it, and I read the comic back in the day. But I read Last Ronin. I got excited by Turtles, and I went back to read some Turtles comics, and they just didn't out for us. They just fell flat. So I was hesitant about this relaunch. Didn't think it would work for us, but I thought I'd give it a few goes. And I love it. It's really, really interesting. So the way he's doing it is each issue so far has focused on one of the turtles. So issue 1 is a story about Raphael, who's in prison, basically, and then the Foot Clan come to kill him and things like that. And it was really strong, a good issue. And then issue 2 is about Michelangelo, who's basically in Hollywood, and he's got his own action show and things like that. It's really surprised us. It's got strong artwork, really strong writing, and I've enjoyed it much more than I expected to enjoy it. So I'll definitely be reading on to issue 4, and then I'll make a decision. But if it continues with the same quality, I think I'll probably be keeping reading this one and picking it up. I have no interest in the other title that's going to go alongside this about mutants or something, mute animals or something. I'll just read this issue, I think, this run.
Nice.
Anybody in the chat read any of these books, either the Florence book or the Turtles book? Let me know what you thought of them. Out now. So books out this week. So myself and Ephraim have had a little look at the solicitations for this week, and we've picked a couple of books. Ephraim, first off, you've picked Moon Man.
So this book, I was talking to Peter about this book before we started the live show. I have enjoyed this book. It's by musician Scott Kid Cudi Miscudi. Makes his comic debut along with Eisner Award winner nominated Kyle Higgins. It says Ramon, basically these astronauts go out into space and they're going to land on the moon, but something happens and they didn't land on the moon, and it's not by NASA, it's by like a private company that's putting them on the moon, but they lose 7 minutes of time, which they can't account for. They lost communication. And then when they go back to Earth, the main character is ready for a quiet life. Whatever went wrong on the failed moon mission, whatever happened in the missing minutes, the cameras didn't capture. All he really wants is to settle down back home. But those missing minutes hold an earth-shattering secret. And with all eyes turned to him, Ramon will soon find himself becoming something the world has never seen before. He starts gaining these powers, and little by little they start, showing up. But I told Peter I just really liked the way they show him like gaining his powers. Usually when Spider-Man gets bit or Superman, they just show him, getting muscles and that's it. But if I can show this, hopefully I can add it to the screen right there. I just like the way they show him gaining his powers, all these colors behind him.
Yeah.
He starts gaining some type of power like a flight, and he's gaining other powers. But then I just read the last issue again, and it looks like the other astronauts have also been gaining powers.
Okay.
So it's been a good storyline. And the only thing I don't like about it, and I told Peter this also, is that every issue, there's like about a 3 to 4 months you have to wait for the next issue to come out, which I don't like, and you lose interest in.
Yeah.
But that's like I'm gonna have to read them all over again because I just lost I forgot what the storyline was all about.
Yeah. It's interesting, that one, Efren, because I read issue 1 of that and it didn't blow us away. But if you're still enjoying it, I might pick it up and trade and see what it's like.
People may not like it, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Fuzzy is saying, I didn't understand when people were so down on it. I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle books. Read 2 today. Yeah. So Fuzzy's talking about the Turtle books there. Tomorrow is the moon is following us. I've got my special sock out already. Wow. The vision in my head now, Von. Flash is saying, I read TMNT issue 1, enjoyed it. I ordered issue 2, but haven't made it to the shop.
Well, now I got to read it for sure, man. Everybody's liking it. God, I completely book.
I mean, I think I probably enjoyed issue 2 more than issue 1, to be honest, Flash. I don't know why. I liked Mikey's story more. But yeah, very good series. Good start so far. Issue 1 of this disappointed me so much I never went back. I'm the same, Fuzzy. But I think if everyone's recommended, I might go back.
I liked it. Is it the best book written now? But it gathered my attention. Hey, really quick on the Turtle book. So is this like a continuation of their universe, or is it like standalone stories? Or okay?
No, it's not a reboot. They've kind of picked up where they've left off, but you don't need to know what happened beforehand. So yeah. Excuse me. Okay, my pick. Sorry. Now, Avengers 18, Storm against Hyperion. I saw this cover, and I'm just a massive fan of Hyperion. There used to be a really cool series called Exiles. I don't know if you ever read Exiles.
Yes.
And they did a good run where they went to an Earth and there was a version of Hyperion, who basically, in essence, if you don't know who Hyperion is, he's basically the Marvel version of Superman. He's got all of Superman's powers. But there was a version of Hyperion who'd gone crackers and was basically ruling the planet, and it was spot on. I absolutely loved it. And it sounds like this is a similar kind of storyline. So Storm against Hyperion. New Avengers member Storm has joined the team just in time to deal with the catastrophe, and she'll need to call in other mutants to help against the world-ending threat. The who's who of the Marvel Universe must unite against the supreme power of Hyperion, and someone steps off the Avengers. I'm a sucker for a good battle comic, and I'd love to see Hyperion take down the Avengers. I would love to see Henry Cavill come into the Marvel Universe as Hyperion. I think that would be brilliant.
Hyperion joined the Avengers about 5-6 years ago. He was on there regular, so
he was part of the Squadron Supreme. I don't know if you remember that miniseries, 12-issue maxi series. I think it was Mark Grunwald. But he's stuck around in a number of variations over the years. Him and Nighthawk and Whizzer and things like that. Yeah.
He's got he's wearing the biggest jockstrap I've ever seen. That's all I can say.
It's similar to the one I've got on at the moment, Efren. But yeah. It's yeah. But no, great character. Looking forward to that just for a battle, really.
Yeah.
Okay. We also pick a bit of a classic cover that we've both liked. Efren picked first this week and sent us it. And Efren, I've kind of jumped on your bandwagon because I loved your pick. And that is you gone for the Amazing Spider-Man 328.
I love this cover by Todd McFarlane, and it just shows basically talking about cod pieces, Spider-Man just hitting Hulk where it counts. It says now who's the strongest one there is. I just love these old school covers, so that's why I picked it. You can see the pain and anguish on the Hulk's face. If you think about it, that's a good way to beat the Hulk, at least temporarily, So yeah, I just love this cover. Todd McFarlane's run on the Amazing Spider-Man. I think it rejuvenated Spider-Man at that time.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I had this cover. I had this in a CGC signed by Stan Lee.
Oh, nice.
I sold it. I wish I hadn't now because I do like it.
Yeah.
But you picked this one, and I've noticed it's a great cover. I love this particular cover.
Yeah.
but it's the Acts of Vengeance mini series kind of logo that jumped out at us, because I remember Acts of Vengeance being a great little mini series, and this was a series where basically the swapped villains around, you know, so you got different villains taking on characters who they wouldn't normally fight. And I picked this particular cover because it's a one that I remember reading back in the day and just absolutely loving it. And it was the Mandarin and the Wizard fighting the Avengers. A really cool little story. And it's you could argue it's not a classic cover, but it's a one that sticks in my mind because of my love of the particular issue. So yeah, I love that. And I love that version of Wonder Man and the Avengers, proper Thor costume and all the rest of it.
Wonder Man is one of my favorite characters. Yeah. I don't think they have not done him justice the last couple of years. He's a pacifist now, and I was like, God, that's not the Wonder Man that I grew up with enjoying. His power.
So he's back, isn't he? He's back in the latest Avengers book with I can't remember what the team book's called.
Oh yeah, Reiteration with Captain America. I think.
Yeah. I read the first issue and it was a bit rough, but yeah, he's part of that team. Yeah. Fuzzy's just saying a new book's coming out all about the lies Stanley told during his career. It looks interesting. Yeah, I saw that, mate. I'm not going to read it. I don't know. I think, yeah, I don't want to upset myself. Okay, that's your whack. We're near the end. Hashtag content, just to talk a little bit about what we've both got coming up on the channel. You'll notice my new background when I'm doing this has got the emblems for the shows that I'm involved with, and of course Efren, who I work very, very closely with. So you've got Triple G Comics, you've got One Good Scare Show and the Killer Comic Show, and of course Pass Point Comics. Please do check out all of those channels and give them a like and a sub. Coming up on One Good Scare Show, we're getting back on track with our live shows, and we've got a whole host of reviews coming out, including Aliens. What was the film I saw the other night? Don't Say a Word with James McAvoy, which was very good. There's a whole host of stuff. Yeah, it was really cool. Quite freaky. Killer Comic Show every Thursday night at 9 p.m, giving you all the proper comic book content you could possibly want. Reviews, artwork reviews, all kinds of stuff. So please do check out the Killer Comic Show at 9 p.m. every single Thursday. On my channel, whole host of videos. I've got my comic hunting in Belfast video from my little jaunt there a couple of weekends ago. We've got my Garbage Pail Kids pack rip, which just went out, and we have got my review of Empire Exchange, which is a great big collector's shop, comic books, all kinds of stuff, with a dirty book section, which throws not just dirty books, dirty toys and things as well.
Which was open up drapes to get inside of it, or
you didn't, Efren. This is the problem. You kind of just walk to the back of the shop, and then all of a sudden you're immersed in things that I didn't want to look at. So yeah, that's interesting. Tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, I've got This Is My with DJ Links. So looking forward to that. DJ is a great guy. Big supporter of Comics Curing Cancer. So I'm looking forward to chatting with him and seeing some of the stuff in his collection. He's got an amazing collection. So looking forward to seeing that. Efren, what are these?
The one on the left, I'm trying to do a regular show on Saturdays at 6 p.m. my time. I think it's 2 a.m. your time, Peter. You're welcome to come on. If you're ever up at 2 a.m., you just give me a quick shout out and I'll bring you on with us. It's just me and my cousin, Momo Comics 80, and we're going to try to bring other people, just talking about comic books, some current events of comic books, hopefully we'll be on this Saturday, because this Saturday is we're going to try to get Comic-Con badges for San Diego Comic-Con. It's already up here. So we're going to try to get it Saturday morning, and we'll talk a little bit about that. The one on the upper right-hand side is our recent interview that we did with Rodney Barnes. You can catch it on my channel or Peter's channel. Really great interview. I love doing interviews with you, Peter. Even though I told you I was a little bit nervous about this one for some reason, like brought back the butterflies. On the bottom right is hopefully next week. I started this show a couple of months ago just with Peter, but we brought James on, where we ask each other 3 questions. Peter picks 3 questions. I pick 3 questions. We don't know. They don't know what the questions are, and I don't know, basically. So we just ask each other 3 questions, just having fun talking with the guys. So
always fun, that one. Always fun. And then that other one, Efren, is the Comic Journeys channel, who's done his Illuminati shout outs, which is all about yourself. So worth checking out, worth having a look at that little video. It's a nice little video, a nice shout out.
I didn't know that at all. When did this happen?
I think it came out yesterday or the day before, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he's
Worth
on
checking out.
YouTube, right? This is on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's your whack. Thank you very much to everybody that stuck with us tonight. It's been a great show as usual. Lots of interesting comic book content. Efren, as ever, an absolute pleasure spending some time with you. I'm looking forward to me, you, and James doing that show next week because that's one of my favorites.
One more thing. I'm not doing this to rub it in, Peter, but this Saturday I'm going to be at Disneyland. It's Halloween. You know, it's Halloween at Disneyland, so I'm going to be going live a couple of times on. If anybody wants to check it out, just showing how they dress up. Halloween for Disneyland. So I'll be doing this Saturday.
Halloween's not until end of October.
They do it already, man. They started like about a week ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be there. I'll be there Friday. So
good stuff. Good stuff. Well, make sure you check it. Will that be live on Instagram, Efren?
It'll be live on Instagram. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. It'll be on Instagram. Yep.
Good stuff. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate you watching, and we will catch you next time. Take care. Bye.